Something's been happening with my Mavic 2 zoom footage that has really bothered me, and sort of a reason why I'm shifting away from using that drone for my real estate shoots. And I'm going to talk about that with you here, so stick around. What's up? Welcome back, everybody. My name is Original Dobo. For those who don't know who I am, on my channel I do drone and tech related content. So if that's at all interesting to you, you may want to hit that subscribe button. So I've been long a fan of the Mavic 2 Zoom, and I probably was one of the biggest advocates for it over the Mavic 2 Pro because of the straight off the camera results that you would be able to get. Super sharp, really clean, looked incredibly awesome, whether it was photos or video, didn't matter. They just look great with little to no post-processing. But recently with doing real estate, I've had to give it a little bit extra pizzazz, and I really needed more dynamic range because, let's face it, I don't always get to choose when I'm going to shoot, and sometimes I could be shooting during broad daylight, didn't matter, and sometimes you have to fake golden hour with some of these videos. So with that being said, I've been noticing a lot of color noise, a lot of noise in my footage, not with the 4K, but when I need a higher frame rate. Because we all know that the new Mavics don't have frame rates higher than 60 FPS, or I should say higher than 30 FPS in 4K, which is what I normally shoot at. But if you need a higher frame rate, you're stuck to 1080p 60 or 120 or 2.7K and 60 frames per second. I did a whole separate video a couple of months back about the 2.7K and 60 frames per second, but I think I was a little bit blinded by the results and I didn't give it a close enough look. So it wasn't until recently when a friend of mine asked me to shoot their gender reveal that I noticed this noise. When I pulled the footage back in last night and I started looking at some of the clips in the shadows, it was noticeably noisy, and it was noise that I really couldn't remove. Another instance of this, I was doing a real estate shoot, and there was a red door. And immediately as I was coming around the corner, I noticed that that red door had an immense amount of noise. Now at the time, I didn't have neat video, so I ended up scrapping the clip and going back and shooting it again in 4K and slowing the clip down from 30 frames per second to basically equivalent of 24. I just made the clip 80% fast, and that worked really well. Now, on the Overcast podcast, we talked about some of our best drone tips that we urge people to never shoot in, resolutions lower than 4K. And I really think that that's true here. It seems like the Mavic 2 Zoom really struggles with anything below 4K. Now, it could very well be that most drones will struggle with lower resolutions at higher frame rates, but it's very apparent here on the Mavic 2 Zoom. Now with the Autel Evo, I can easily squeak out 4K 60 and never notice any degradation in any of the video quality. So it has to have something to do with that 1080p compression. That's the only thing I could chop it up to. I went ahead anyways and cleaned that clip of the red door with neat video just for shits and giggles. I wanted to see exactly what it would exactly do to it. And it did take out a fair bit of noise, but I can still notice problems in that clip. And it just was totally unusable, and I could not give that specific clip to my client in my video. Last night when I was editing the video, I did have some extra clips to work with, so I really didn't have too many problems. But it just goes to show you that if you were looking to fly a drone, that you really need to be aiming towards that 4K video. That 1080p and 2K video that they do offer you really isn't good enough for either professional or just if you are looking for something that you can cherish for a while. You may just want to skip that. And if you don't have a PC that can totally handle 4K video editing, I would really suggest looking into DaVinci Resolve or even Premiere Pro and possibly using proxies to be able to edit 4K footage. Now I do know anytime I've ever used a Mac, I've never had any issues editing any sort of 4K footage, no matter what computer I was using. But it's sort of sad because you would hope that the video would be tack sharp, and it's just not. It's just really lackluster and okay. And the Mavic 2 Pro actually does a little bit better job in 1080p than the Mavic 2 Zoom. So it's sort of sad to see that, but I just wanted to sort of express my displeasure with this and hopefully prevent any of you from making the same mistake I made with a different resolution. If it's below 4K, you are going to get noise. Now, I was shooting in Decinelike. Do I think Decinelike introduced that noise? No, because I've had this happen even on standard color profiles. But anyways, just wanted to go ahead and point this out. Hopefully nobody makes this mistake in their professional work or if they're just making a project for themselves. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video or if you found it at all helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. As always, guys, stay original.